got all these victories that you led the fight in this state to create, that was shared by literally millions of other workers, even people who are union members. Corporate America wants to counterattack. So Lewis Powell, former president of the American Bar Association, sits on the boards of 11 major corporations. On August 23rd, he writes a secret memo to a friend of his at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Google this and read this thing if you want to help lead the fight to turn this around. This is their game book of how they are doing what they're doing. Okay? Decade-long strategy, win the war of big ideas, constant propaganda, constant lies. They own the media. Brother's nodding his head like this is making some sense. Build a national idea machine and relentless attacks. Every day, get up and smash away at your enemies and just beat them onto the floor and then beat them through the floor. 2 months after he wrote this, President Nixon put him on the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay? I'm not a conspiracy theory nut job. I didn't make this up. This guy really existed. He really wrote it. Everybody in this room, I urge you to read it. You need to know their game plan because we're living through their game films. How many of you heard of Warren Buffett? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of people heard of Warren Buffett. There's class warfare, all right, but it's my class, the rich class that's winning, that's making war, and we're winning. Now, if I say this, I'm a communist, I'm a socialist, I'm a terrorist, I'm an anarchist, I'm a hippie, whatever. Right, so I always say, I'm just a friend of Warren Buffett, and I'm quoting my good friend. We'll leave it at that. Okay? But we can take all that nonsense off the table and just kind of go. This is what they say they're doing. I didn't say that, they did. Okay? Now, here's Warren's number 2. I call him Chucky Boy. We should thank God for the bailout of Wall Street, but ordinary Americans should just suck it up and cope. Okay, I didn't make this up. This guy forgot to have a spin doctor get in the way of his mouth. Okay? So you can all just suck it up and cope. That's what he's telling you to do. I got a few words for Chucky Boy. Chucky Boy, go straight to hell. Yeah. Agree with me on that? Yeah. Okay, go to hell, Chucky Boy. We don't need these kind of people. They're less than human. All the pain of the last 6 years that people have experienced, suck it up and cope. You know, like, really? Go join living under a bridge there, Chucky Boy. So what's class warfare look like? Crush organized labor, they got to wipe you out. It's critical. Promote free trade. Probably heard a little bit about this. Where can we make those parts anywhere on the planet? Undermine democracy with big money. Just keep pulling the money out of there, buying the elections. If they don't vote right, make it harder to vote. So try and take the vote away from anybody who's likely to vote for the working class or poor people. Deregulate Wall Street, because you know they're smarter than us. They're geniuses, they tell me. Boy, just get out of the way and let them run things for a while. Cut the programs for the poor and the needy and the unemployed. Who needs unemployment benefits? You know, people on food stamps are just going to get fat anyway. You know, it's not good for their health to make sure they got food. Cut the taxes on the corporations and the wealthy. And of course, Boeing in the last 5 years made $21 billion in profits, and they got a tax refund from the federal government in those 5 years of $202 million.
A refund?
A refund of $202 million. I'm not making this up. It was a negative 1.1 tax rate. My wife and I paid 22%. And Boeing needs tax breaks in order to be competitive. BS, bullshit, whatever you want to call it, and privatized government. Has anybody ever heard this before?
Yeah, just recently.
Really? If you don't hear this every day, then you're not awake. Because this is the solution to every problem in America, according to corporate America. Okay? Endless. On and on and on and on and on. It just goes on forever. It's their playbook that came out of the Powell memo, and these are the ideas that we're going to keep pushing. Okay? So, 2008 arrives. We don't have to worry about the details here. You know, millions of foreclosures, on and on. I'm sure if we got into talking about how you and people you know have done, they help you out of a lot of people, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's pain for us. They get bailed out, and they want tax breaks.
They want more.
It's endless. They're
Wants to be
like
six.
ants.
Boeing made
So-
14% profit this first quarter too.
So, people accuse me of doing Prozac lectures. Holden, don't ever invite this guy back. My God, I'm so depressed. I may have to leave right now before we get to the rest of the meeting. Okay, so let's get to something positive. Frederick Douglass, the famous abolitionist and escaped slave, says, if there is no struggle, there can be no progress. Find out what any people will quietly submit to, and you will have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them. Now this guy's more articulate than me, but what did he say? Corporate America is going to keep kicking the crap out of us and people like us until we get up and force them to stop. That's our job. If we do not do that, we can come back here every year, and it'll be, oh my God, look what they've done to me now. And it's not going to be easy, but it can be done. So let's look at some victories that people on our team have been winning. In Oregon, they were going to put right to work on the ballot. Organized labor got together and said, if you put right to work on the ballot, we're going to put 3 initiatives up, we're going to cram them down your throat, and corporate Oregon blinked back down and withdrew it. Let's hear it for our brothers and sisters in Oregon. We got a big win. How many of you knew about this? Look around the room, virtually none of you knew. We need to be spreading the word when we win, crying out loud, so it doesn't look like we're only losing, because they want to convince us that all we do is lose. Now in Ohio, in 2011, they took collective bargaining rights away from most public sector workers. Labor got busy, they put an initiative on the ballot, they needed 400,000 signatures, they got 1 million, all-time record in the state of Ohio. They went to the ballot, and they crushed the Union Busters 61-39. Let's hear it for our brothers and sisters in Ohio. How many of you knew about this? We got 2 people, 4 people. Okay, we don't know about our teams winning. If you don't know you're winning, then you think we're only losing, because that's what they tell us. They don't want us to think we're capable of winning. We just won $15 an hour minimum wage in CTAC. Let's hear it for CTAC. And now the fight's on in Seattle where I live, and by God, we're going to keep swinging and we're going to win. Okay? It is disgusting that people who are working full-time and minimum wage have enough money to basically live under a bridge.
Yeah, we're subsidizing Walmart and McDonald's and those
Hello.
jerk ads.
We're going to get to that in about 2 minutes. You are brilliant. In California, they led the fight. 3 million people are going to get a raise in California from a $10 an hour minimum wage. Let's hear it for California. How many of you knew about this? Very few of you. Okay? We got a pattern here. Our team's winning some big wins, and you don't know about it. So that's going to have an effect on whether or not you think you can win. It'd be like looking in the sports page and your team only loses all the time, and then you find out, wait a minute, they left out that we won 4 in a row. How many of you heard of Moral Monday marches? We got 2 people. Okay. 50,000 people marching for economic and social justice in Raleigh, North Carolina in February. What have they done there? 170,000 people kicked off of unemployment bennies. 900,000 kicked off, low-wage workers kicked out of the state earned income tax credit. 500,000 low-wage workers denied Medicaid because their employers won't give them health insurance, so they were eligible for the government because they're working poor. 30,000 kids kicked out of Head Start, and they're gutting their laws in terms of the right to vote. And only 4% are unionized in North Carolina, and they have risen up with 50,000 people. Let's hear it for our sisters and brothers in North Carolina. They had 10,000 in a march in Asheville, which is in the Appalachian foothills, in a city of 250,000 people. How many of you knew about this again? Okay, you don't know. I'm not blaming you. You're not stupid, but you're ignorant. And ignorant means you lack information, not you lack intelligence. Okay? The more we know about this, we're probably going to have a little bit more hope.